Right, hi everyone. You join us at Float Fish Farm Fishery today on Horseshoe Lake. First time I've been on this lake. Just giving the new Horizon Pro rods a go and just working through all the different. Going to show you all the different styles of feeder you can use and when to use them. Yeah, just going to talk you through when we'd use the open alloys and the standard method and some new pellet feeders we've got coming out. I'll just net this one and I'll talk you through them. Running through using the new pellet feeders we've got coming out here today. Really valuable to use in certain situations, and I'll explain those today. I will explain why I'd use the other ones as well, but we're focusing on this today. I'll get this fish in the net. I'll just give him a quick look at him. Lovely little mirror. All great fish here. Great fish for the method, those size. Great match size fish. I'll put him in the net. We'll try and have a look through the feeders for you. Right, so I'm going to talk you through the new pellet feeders. They come in two sizes. This is the smaller one and there's a large as well. Both come in two different weights as well, so you can change for how far you're fishing and the wind and everything. Really good addition to the range, I think, with these. When I would use these particularly, when I'm wanting the fish to home in on a single bit of bait, because your hook bait's here, they've got to come in from it that way. Take the bait there, not like a method where they can get it all from around it if they're being a bit finicky, which some venues are a little bit at the moment where there's been a lot of people fishing. So they're really handy for that because, like I say, the fish is always coming in and taking your bait from the same direction. So if you're getting a few funny knocks and liners, it can be worth switching to one of these. Also great in deep water. The little hood on it just helps keep the bait in as it's going down on deep venues like we are today. There's a really deep lake here. Be perfect for that. Also really good with different baits. We use your normal, your pellets and your micros like we'll be using today, but you can fish. Chopped worm can be really good in these. You can plug that in with a bit of little bit of ground bait in with it. Mushy meat, things like that. Baits that wouldn't grip round a method, you can get in here, you can pack them in and it'll hold in there lovely. Also great with using different baits, like on the method we would use sort of pellets and wafters and the bog standard sort of things. With this you can get away with softer baits because you're not pushing it onto the feeder, not squashing the bait. So baits like maggots, a worm, a piece of meat, things like that can work really well with this, where you wouldn't get away with it, you'd be squashing them off as you're moulding your feeder. So it can be really good for that. All interchanged, come with an inline stem, but as you can see, like all the rest of the family, this is one of the elasticated stems. I like these when I'm allowed, just give you that extra bit of cushion when you're playing a fish. So you can swap between them all. It swaps between the open end alloys, the standard methods, even a bomb. Again, great for when you're clipping up at the start of the match. You can put your bomb on and then put your feeder on. Really well thought out range. They all cast lovely, all weight forward. Can be worth just swapping between different feeders at different times of the day. A big open end, big open alloy. You can get some bait out quickly and then fish with this and they're homing right in on it. So don't be afraid to change feeders during the day. It can just get you that extra few bites. On commercials like this where they're really big fish, 1 or 2 bites can make all the difference in a session or a match. So don't be afraid to keep swapping as the day goes on and the fish are feeding differently. Right, just going to look at how we load the pellet feeder. Dead simple. While we've got the pellet feeder in the hand here, just go into a few more little details with it. The stem is really low to the bottom of the feeder. On some it will sit midway. With this it sits right at the bottom, which makes it even easier for loading. And it sits right back in the feeder. It doesn't finish flush with the loading. So your hook bait it's all there and nice and neat and sits back. It's perfect. Helps with hooking as well. So everything's going to sit there nicely. Right, on to loading. For me personally, I like the hook bait midway, so I just scoop it through or put a few in there, load it to the back of the plastic, and then just put my hook bait in there, scoop a few more pellets in and push it in. It wants to be nice and firm, still wants to be there when it reaches the bottom, and it's got holes on the back here which will force everything out that way. So you're going to end up with a pile of bait, your hook bait is going to land out there and the bait's going to push out over it. What can be good with this, I wouldn't do it with other methods, but with the pellet feeder, when you're catching really well, you can actually leave the hook bait exposed with this one, because the bait is always going to end up on the hook bait still, where it pushes out that way. So it's perfect for that. Right, I'm just going to show you how to actually attach the feeder to your main line. For me, some people use a snap link, but I just keep it nice and simple. A large loop in the end of my main line going up to, coming off the end of the rod. Pass it through the stem, the hole in the stem, over the feeder, and tighten it back up like that. It's as simple as that. It's nice and doubled up there for any not rubbing against your net. Perfect for me. It comes with inline stems. Personally, I prefer elasticated where allowed, but if inline is what you've got to do, use an inline. Comes with a short stem in it. Again, I prefer just changing to one of the slightly longer ones. I just think they keep it a bit more stable on the cast, acts like a bit of a dart. And again, 2 lengths of elasticated ones. I prefer the longer one, again, for the same reason. It just helps keep it straight on the cast for me. Really simple, let's say, but perfect, and these are working brilliant today. This is the beauty of this place. You just never know what the next go's going to be. This is a lovely barbel again. We've had 2 or 3 of these. Some wonderful coloured carp, and there's a bit of everything in there. Really, really good fishing. I'll just pop him in the net. And I'll give you a quick talk through the rod and reel setup and the tackle setup. Get that on that. So, first of all, the rod. Awesome rod this. Horizon Pro, it's a 10-foot feeder. Plenty of backbone, which is ideal for this punching. We're chucking about 40 metres, so want a good, powerful rod. Lovely for playing action as well for the fish. Moving on to the reel. The Horizon 4000, I like a slightly bigger reel for feeder fishing, so just the 4000 loaded with 8 or 10 pound Horizon X mainline. Just runs straight through. I've got an 1.5 ounce tip on, the lighter of the 2 tips that come with this rod. Perfect for this. You don't want it too heavy so liners aren't pulling your feeder out of place. And then it just runs down to the loop and the feeder. It's really, really simple setup, but like all method feedering and pellet feeding, deadly. I'll get this loaded up and we'll get back out. We've just had a little bit of a slow spell, so I've changed to a big feeder, one of the open alloy feeders, just to get some more bait in the peg, and it's really kicked it off again. Just goes to show, never fish the same feeder all day. It's worth swapping about. Sometimes a little light feeder when there's a lot of fish there, so don't disturb them too much. Just changing about when you've got to get some more feed in, a big feeder. This is a good fish actually. Yeah, don't be afraid to keep swapping your feeders. With the interchangeable system we've got, it's really, really easy to, so no excuses. But this has really brought the swim back to life. We had a few casts where there weren't many signs, 3 or 4 casts with a big feeder, and now we've started catching really well again. Just got to watch where this one's going. Really good fish, this one. I think the biggest one of the day. Maybe not. Balmiest one of the day, maybe. I'll just get this one in and I'll just show you the process of loading the bigger feeder. I'll show you what I mean by putting some more bait in. Nice fish. One of the bigger ones. Right, so as I just said, the peg went a little bit quiet. I'm just getting a bit more feed in with the bigger, this is the biggest, the large 45 gram open alloy feeder. Holds plenty of bait. I'll just load it up. Lots and lots of bait. I can really pile it round it. Give it a good squeeze so it doesn't come off. And as you can see, I'm introducing a lot of bait there. Just 3 or 4 casts with that to build the swim back up, draw them back in, and then I'll be swapping to the 2 pellet feeders again, because the larger one has been the best today. And when I start getting a lot of liners and there's a few too many fish, just swapping down to the slightly smaller one just to calm the peg down a little bit. It's all about swapping about as the day goes on and reading what's happening on the end of your tip. So I'll get this out and hopefully it won't be too long before we have another bite. Right, a lovely day on the pellet feeder today. As you can see, we've got plenty of fish. We've already put some back. It's been terrific sport. We've had to change about with feeder sizes and types of feeder just to keep the bites coming at times, to get a bit more bait in the swim. But the pellet feeder's been by far the best, a vital part of your armoury. I definitely get some in for your tackle box. Let's get these back and I'll see you again soon.